We are back here on the Dedicated Podcast, powered by DR Sports. Ben Spicer joined by Jonathan Mumfree. Today we're taking it to the DFW, one of the premier programs in the 7-on-7 circuit over the last decade plus. We've got one of their co-founders here and coaches joining us today, Bryan Billups. Coach, thank you so much first and foremost for your time. How you been and what's been going on with you?
Oh man, thank you for having me, man. I've been pretty well. I've been blessed. You know, still trying to put stuff together, and the work never stops. It's just like a college coach. You just go back and you go back to the drawing board and you try to do it all over again.
Absolutely, B. Man, we've been together for a minute. I mean, I never forget we did our first major event in another brand that I had started and teamed up with True Buzz, man. And we was just talking with Coach Fuse last night, and he brought up I call it the Noah Flood, the True Buzz event we did back in 2019, man. Saturday it was a flood, and we got out of that thing 2-3 o'clock in the morning, and then Sunday, man, it's like Jesus was born. The sky just opened up. It was so beautiful. But it was one of the greatest, my first experience, a great experience of working with you and the True Buzz family, and that's kind of where we connected at.
Definitely, man. That was a monumental part of our growth as well, working with you. You was probably the first person that came with us on some business and believed in what we were doing in the community, believed in what we stood for, and you gave us a chance to do what we were already doing on a bigger platform. So I really salute you for that, and I love you for letting us step out and experience that and get our feet wet with a platform that big. You know what I mean? Because we never done that before. We've always been small, and you believed in us to feel like we could deliver on a bigger stage. So I appreciate you for that.
Man, it's believing in each other, man. When I look back on this, it's just, brothers trusting brothers, and man, people locking in and just saying, hey, we want to do something bigger for the kids. And, we're going to definitely get into more about kind of where you guys have grown to today, which is, as being stated there, y'all the OGs in the 7-on-7 world, man. So we want to talk about that. And I know you guys are doing some other things with your program. But one thing about the Dedicated Podcast, you kind of got to think about, okay, I'm looking at Billups, where did it really start to where you start your trajectory to figure out who you're going to become as a leader and you are today. For me, I kind of go back to when I was about 15, 16 years old, when the drug epidemic hit our community. My dad was an awesome man, but he got caught up in that. We start to see a lot more abuse within our home. And, that's when I had to kind of step in as a man and be like, hey, I need to get on the weights. I need to get bigger because I need to protect my mom. But what I didn't know, that was the trigger that really instilled that flame inside of me that wanted to be better than everything else I saw that was around me. I don't know if you had any of those moments, but it might not be something like that. But hey, what's the moment that kind of became a dedicated time for you where you start to say, hey, I got to do something different than what I've seen?
I think it was instilled in me as a youngster. I mean, I didn't have my dad growing up, you know what I mean? It was just my mom and my grandmother. I was raised by a bunch of women, and they always gave back, you know what I mean? They always had a big heart. We didn't meet no stranger, or, anybody could come to our house and have a meal and things of that nature. So I seen it, and I seen what it did for people. And, my mom and my grandmother always kept me into something proactive to give back to the community. I had a group called YMCA, not YMCA, but YPTA. It was called Young People Thinking Ahead. And it was ran by this guy that lived up the street in my neighborhood, right? And they kind of gave me the ideal of, because I was in that program when I was a youngster, and he allowed us youngsters to pretty much run a whole organization with youngsters, you know what I mean? And we did, we did step shows, we did parties, we did, we had a board, we had a whole lot of things, and that made me realize, hey, it's nothing wrong with giving back. There's nothing wrong with reaching down and helping somebody who don't get it all the way. And, but it came from my grandmother and my mother, just seeing them always giving back. And when I got in that program, I understood even at an early age what I wanted to do. I wanted to always be able to, give my knowledge and my wisdom to other people, especially if you're not using the skill, you might as well give it to somebody else.
Right. I think that's awesome.
And sports is a good outlet and avenue to, be able to help people and using sports to be able to use that as a tool. I'm looking at your bio on the True Buzz website. It says you grew up in Arkansas, Monticello, Arkansas. Not the biggest city. So
No, not at
kind
all.
of, kind of what was the childhood like? And, how did you get into starting up with that organization? Like, what was the moment that led to you wanting to join that and to be able to help others?
My mom, my grandmother didn't give me no choices at the end of the day. So you was gonna get out the house and do something, right? Once I got in that program and I seen, other kids, like-minded kids that really wanted to do something special with their life, and we were around each other and we were rooting for each other and we was in the trenches together. You know what I mean? That's just like being on the football field. That's just like being on the baseball diamond. That's just like being on the basketball court. We're in a business setting. We're doing business stuff. And we were doing that at a young age to understand how business works, understand how to put together a team to do a event or to throw a party, things of that nature. So they gave us all those tools, and I can tell you about 90% of those kids that was in that program with me are very successful people.
Wow.
I love that.
I did not know you from. Go ahead, Ben. I'm sorry.
I was going to say, like, looking at what you do now and being able to help others and help kids, do you kind of look back to working with that organization as that was like the groundwork and kind of the foundation for what you do now? Did you take things that you learned there and, apply them today, or how did that kind of, help you out into what you do now?
Most definitely. That's the blueprint of how we created True Buzz and what we stand for and how we started. You know what I mean? We started as a training organization trying to get like-minded kids together to come train and go to camps and do community service and things of that nature. It was kind of like a small fraternity that nobody really knew about, but they understood these kids are getting what they deserve. They're getting the resources and getting the things that they need to be successful. So that's really how I started. We didn't start out in the 7-on-7. We really started out as a training program with some kids that really just had the drive and the want to, but just didn't have the resources to get to the next level. So we wanted to provide that for them. And once we figured out the formula works, and then it just took off. When we got in the 7-on-7 world, it just took off to a whole nother, galaxy that we wasn't even prepared for. But me having that background with YPTA made me understand that this is probably bigger than me. It's bigger than what I even was dreaming of. And I could take some of the things that I learned in that program. And matter of fact, I reached out to the guy who was over that program, and I spoke with his wife and him about how to, make what I'm doing and use the football aspect of it as the vehicle to create what they created for us kids back in Arkansas.
So what man, that's that's awesome. I wish I had something like that in the program, but I did have some strong women. So, one thing you'll know about our community, these women gonna make sure you get in line back in the day, and they don't build them like they used to build them. I can agree with that. So especially if you had grandma, I wasn't blessed to have grandma, but I had some aunties and some that understood what that switch was. So I definitely agree with that, man. I mean, there's nothing like it. I mean, so from Monticello, how did you get to Texas? I mean, what was that transition? Did you play ball? What kind of give me a little background?
Well, I actually was better in baseball. Like I was a baseball phenom. So I love baseball. I was great at baseball, but when I started playing football, because we don't start playing football until we in the 7th, 8th grade in Arkansas back in the day, right? Now it's a little bit different, but when I was coming up, we didn't start playing organized football until we was in the 7th, 8th grade. So we played baseball since we were 5. So I was really great at baseball, and so baseball. I could have went to Texas A&M to play baseball as a walk-on. Prefer walk-on. But I was like, I'm gonna bet on myself, and I'm gonna play both of them. I want to play baseball and football. I want to be Deion Sanders. You know what I mean? So Navarro was a JUCO that had won national championships the year that I was coming out. They won one in basketball. I mean, not basketball, but baseball and football the previous year. And my aunties lived in Texas, so I used to come to Texas every summer. You know what I mean? And I wanted to come for my senior year because I felt like I was getting under recruited. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because I felt like I was really good in football, but nobody was coming to Arkansas looking for football players at that time.
Right.
So I went to Navarro with my cassette tape, full game.
You dig yourself right there.
I already knew I was a main man in baseball. They gonna take me in baseball, but can I get on the football team too? So I went in the coach's office with my cassette tape with the game film, not no highlight film, just the game film, and they offered me a scholarship to play both of them.
Awesome.
So I ended up at Navarro playing baseball and football. My baseball career didn't last very long because when I got to college and seeing how the regimen is in baseball in college, it wasn't for me no more.
Yeah, it's a whole different thing.
It's a whole different ball game. So I was like, you know what, baseball, I'm gonna hang my cleats up. And my mom told me back then, she was like, you the dumbest person I ever seen. You're not even that great at football, but you great at baseball. But my passion was football. You know what I'm saying? I had fell in love with football. I played baseball for a long time, and I just fell out of love with it, especially when I got to college. And football was my love. So I chased the football dream, and I just quit baseball, focused on playing football. Ended up getting kicked off the team my second year, but I continued to train. And then I graduated, got my associates, and then I went and walked on at North Texas, and I made the team.
So then you got to dig in there and tell me, why did you get kicked off the football team now, Billups? Come on now. Let's gotta go on and lay that out, bro. So, I ain't gonna let you get by with that.
So I got kicked off the
Navarro. Navarro was putting dudes out then. I know they
was putting big time dudes out at that time. Like people. I had 4 guys on my baseball team that got drafted. You know what I mean? That I came in there with. They got drafted right out of JUCO. You know what I mean? We was having 5 All-Americans come out the football team. So it was definitely the time to be there. I got kicked off the football team. I started hanging with the wrong people. I started feeling myself. And I was a 2-sport athlete. You get the big head. I come from a small town. I'm in Texas. It's bigger. It's more girls. It's most things to get into. In the country, you ain't got too much things to do but play sports. You know what I mean? Ain't too many girls. Everybody know the girls, but
and from your cousin in a small town.
So it was like, I came to this area and it was just a lot. And I'm a flamboyant type of big ego type of guy. And I let that get the best of me, and I started hanging out with the wrong crowd. And we went to Target one day when they first started having PlayStations, right? Yeah. And they had the PlayStation sitting out in front of the building. And we athletes, I'm like, they got these PlayStations sitting right there in the front. Nobody watching them. So we was like, forget it. We gonna snatch and run.
Snatch and run. Yeah.
So we went in there by 8 deep with hoodies on and everything. We walked through the store, came out, we grabbed the PlayStation, and we take off running. But as soon as we get the PlayStation, we come out the door. The security right there. But we football players, and we athletes, so we gonna run right by them. Yeah. One of our guys didn't want to run over a pregnant lady and her kids, and got caught. And he had his college ID on him. And once they figured out we was from the college, all they did is go get our dorm director and watch the footage, and he identified every single one of us. And 3 of us was on the football team, and all 3 of us got kicked out the football team, still in PlayStation. Wow. PlayStation 2s.
Man.
They needed NIL back then. Go ahead, Ben. Sorry.
I was just going to say, what's next from that moment? Like, how did you kind of respond to that? I know you said you ended up going to North Texas, but what were the following days like after that happened?
Man, the following days was crazy because we had a negotiation with the people, right? We called them on the phone because they had our guy, right? They had our guy in custody, and we had about 7 PlayStations because we were 6 deep, and we took 2. Everybody took 2, so we had 12 PlayStations. So we need to bring 10 of them back because once you get to a certain threshold, it's a felony, right?
Yeah.
So they're gonna take our guy down for a felony because the amount of money they cost is is too much. So they was like, if you bring the PlayStations back, we won't charge him for a felony. He'll just get a misdemeanor, right? So we negotiated with the people to bring the PlayStations back. They want us to bring them back in the store. We was like, man, we're not stupid. We're not bringing them back in the store for you can lock all us up. So we gonna leave. We told them we were gonna leave them there. When we didn't tell them we was gonna leave them there, we was like, we'll call y'all once we drop them off, and we'll tell you where they at. But they had the place surrounded. So when we dropped them off, they chases us all the way, high-speed chase in a car. They chase us back to our, because we had a duplex at the time, and our duplex is right around the corner. So they chased us all the way to our duplex. We jumped out the car, jumped over the fence, hide, and then we get to Dallas. We go to Dallas. We go to Dallas for the whole weekend. Matter of fact, we go to Dallas until Tuesday. I didn't go to practice on Monday. We come back on Tuesday thinking everything to die down. Oh no! As soon as the three of us get to practice, coach was like, "Hey, Leonard, Bethel, Harris, come with me," and we was like, "Damn, we in trouble."
Yeah.
And he was like, "Man, go get y'all stuff out y'all locker, man. It's a wrap. That's not the Bulldog way of doing things. Y'all don't represent the Bulldog brand. Y'all gotta go." But as soon as I got done doing that, I started playing intramurals. I won a national championship in intramurals with my intramural team.
Yeah.
And I kept training. I kept playing. So my girlfriend was a cheerleader, and Navarro had one of the top cheerleading teams. So my girlfriend was a cheerleader, and she got a scholarship to go to North Texas. So I was like, you know what? I had coaches calling me, telling me to go back to Arkansas. I'm like, nah, I'm gonna stay with my girlfriend. She was beautiful. She was beautiful. I was like, they ain't no scholarships. I know I'm good enough to make the team. I'm just gonna go with her. I stayed an extra year to get my associates because you couldn't transfer without getting your associates.
Right.
So I had to come back to school and be embarrassed, not be on the team, just go to school, just be a regular student for a year, but keep training and keep playing intramurals. And when I went for the summer, by the grace of God, they put me with the starting receiver and the starting O lineman. And I was going to a college, just like a college apartment complex, but you had 3 different rooms, right? But ironically, they put me with the starting receiver for the team and the starting O lineman for the team. So during the summer, I was going to the stadium working out with them, doing one-on-ones and everything. They actually gave me the courage to walk on because they thought I was great, and they was like, "Man, you need to come here." And I was like, "Well, I'm going here," And they was like, "Well, I'm gonna get introduced to the coach." So I didn't really have to try out. I really had already made the team in the summer. I just had to go through the walk-on program.
Wow. So North Texas. Now I know that's kind of where the whole magic started cooking. How did you guys? I mean, at North Texas, I know Brooks ended up in North Texas. I know you, a couple other guys that kind of started. Kind of take us through that journey of you guys connecting and how that happened. Because obviously you from Arkansas. I know he's from Houston. You coming out of Navarro, and I know he went to North Texas. So kind of how did that start? How did that connection happen?
I actually met Brooks on the basketball court. During that same summer. I had just got there. All I'm doing is, I'm keeping my head down. I'm just trying to stay active. I'm just trying to stay in shape. I hooped in high school too. I did all 4 sports. I did track, basketball, baseball. Because in the country, that's what you got to do.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you're a stud, you're gonna play everything.
I play everything.
Right? So, we playing basketball at the apartment complex, and we have a big group of people playing. And I'm talking noise. I'm here. I'm doing my thing. And they were like, "Man, who is this guy?" Because I always used to have the Dallas Mavericks shorts. I had the old school Dallas Mavericks shorts with the cowboy hat on it. The old school Dallas Mavericks shorts.
Yeah.
So I used to always wear them when I hoop. And they used to always like, "Man, who is this guy?" This is how I got the name Billups. Because they was like, "Man, this man, he hooped like Chauncey Billups." I was a bigger guard. I could post, I could shoot, I run the point. So they was like, "Man, he played like Chauncey Billups." So that's how I met Brooks on the basketball court, talking noise to him and his friends. Because I didn't know nobody. I came from Navarro, you know what I mean? This is a new school for me. So I'm just out here doing me and trying to make a name for myself. And, I met Brooks on the basketball court.
So you go and you're playing in college, and what was the college career like after that? Going to North Texas, did you kind of have to earn your stripes to get out there, or how did things go? Once you got on the team, you said you didn't have a tryout. So once you got on, how did it go?
This was the worst thing. This is the bad thing about my whole college career. Even after I made the team, I got a rude awakening. Right, Because back then they only had so many out of state scholarships that they can provide for people, right? So I go into Coach Dickey office. He break it down to me. He's like, I love your talent. I love everything you do. I feel like you can play on both sides of the ball, or you can play whichever way you want to play. Because I did. If you go look at my tape, I played everywhere in high school. I played every linebacker, fullback, running back, safety, corner, quarterback. Whatever you wanted me to do, I could do it. I ain't great at nothing, but I can do everything. So, with my skill set, he was like, man, I need you on my team. I need you on my team. And he was like, but I got a problem. I really don't have any more out of state scholarships.
Hmm.
Right. And I'm like, well, what I supposed to do? He was like, well, when my family didn't have a whole bunch of money, we weren't broke, but we didn't have a whole bunch of money. I'm like, well, how can I play football? Because I was willing to work. Love you. I was willing to work and, continue to go to school. But at that time, they wouldn't allow you to work. So he was like, well, I can't give you no scholarship. I was like, well, can you at least pay for my books? Or can you pay, a meal plan or anything? He was like, really, I don't got no money. The only way you're going to be able to play is you got to pay for your own school, but you got a spot on the team. So me being who I am, I called my people, let them know what was going on. But, I had to, face reality. My people didn't have the money to pay for me to go to school, all the way. I got to work, you know what I mean? So I had to sacrifice my football career because I still wanted to go get my degree, but I couldn't afford not to work in order to do that. I couldn't play football. I had to go work and help my parents pay for the rest of the school. So I had to choose to just say, hey, football is done for me, and I got to work because I still want to go to school. I was in a relationship with my lady, and I didn't want to quit school, so I just took a job at Walmart making like $25 an hour, and I was paying for my school. Financial aid was paying for some of it, and you know what I mean? I'm in debt today.
That's man, that's a moment though. That's a tough moment. You have to kind of make a real life grown man decision. At that moment, hey, do I do what I have fun and I love doing and I know I can do it, or do I saddle everybody with what a selfish moment? I mean, that's a big thing. So I applaud you for that, because that's tough. I mean, we talked to a gentleman the other night, and it was 7 years later before he got back in the football game. That's how long he fought to stay in there. I was telling Ben, I was like, yeah, I don't know if I could have played 1 year, then set out for 7 years. I would have went and figured out a different career because I'm just that kind of grinder.
But the crazy thing about that, I had most success in the intramural setting, and my brothers. So D Money, when I met Brooks, we call him D Money. When I met Brooks was on the walk on situation too. I don't know what happened with his situation because we wasn't cool like that at that point. But we ended up in the same situation. We ended up not being on the team, so we created a team called what was our team called? Dang, it's gonna come to me. But we created an intramural team. We won 3 national championships in intramurals, and we was better. We had a better following than the actual football team had at North Texas at that time.
Absolutely. Okay. No, that was you just led me where I need to go. I was wondering, how did you and Brooks really get tight? And so intramural is where y'all kind of kindled y'all relationships. So how did y'all cook up True Buzz? I mean, how did this thing cook up? How did it start to happen? Kind of, give us a little background on that.
Well, again, I met Brooks. We was doing intramurals. We had success in intramurals. I think intramurals. What was it? Was it 909 or 707? It might have been. I think it was 707 intramurals. I knew it was 8. It was 8 people in intramurals, right? And we came up with the offense. We came up with the offense and we came up with the defense in the intramurals, and we was very, very successful. We had a girls team, we had a all boys team, and we had a co-ed team, and we was winning. We was winning year after year after year after year. And so we just studied the game all the time. We played NCAA every day, all day. We go to class. We did, and we just grew a passion for the game on a coach's level, on a schematic level, and we was inseparable in college. Like if you see me, you gonna see him, and we were just all about football. Even though we weren't on the team no more, we was just always pouring into football, and we poured into our intramural team so much to where we were so successful. And once we got out of college, D Money Brooks took a job in Victoria, Texas,
Mm-hmm.
right? He had a coaching opportunity in Victoria, Texas. And we were so inseparable. I said, you know what? I could do what I do because I was a business major. I could do what I do anywhere in the country. I can get a job anywhere in the country. So I'm gonna go with you. So you got somebody that you can depend on. So I'm gonna go with you to Victoria so you comfortable. And we went to stay with Jeff Levy. That's
Wow.
the head coach at Mississippi State. That was our roommate, Jeff Levy, Brooks, and another guy named Daniel. We all stayed in the same house, and that's how we started getting the coaching part and the schematics together because we was in the house with a bunch of great football minds.
Right.
Right? We playing the game. We challenging each other on the game. And once he left there, we went back to Dallas. We had two nephews. Well, he had a cousin. I had a cousin, and they had two friends that we felt like had great talent,
Mm-hmm.
but they wasn't getting recruited like they supposed to be getting recruited. So we was like, we're not gonna let the same thing happen to them that happened to us, right?
Right.
Because we felt like we was under recruited. We should have been somewhere else too. So we was like, how can we make sure they got the resources they need? So we was like,
Mm-hmm.
we gonna get out here and we gonna train them on the things that we know the coaches want to see. We gonna get out here every Sunday and we gonna do a combine on what they gonna be doing at camps. And when camp season come around, we gonna go over there and take over camp.
Hmm.
We're gonna take over these, we're gonna take them, and they're gonna be experts on how to do this stuff at camp.
Mm-hmm.
All five of those guys went D1. Three out of those five guys in the NFL.
Wow.
So when all five of those guys went D1, we was like, hey, we are pretty much on to something right here. I had a clothing line with my sister that was named True Buzz that I wasn't using. Because we was gonna call True Buzz Hot Route Academy. That's what we was called at first. But since we had all D linemen and O line, we can't call that Hot Route Academy because we only had O linemen and D linemen.
Right.
So we was like, well, what can we name our organization? And I had this clothing line just sitting here that we had created that I wasn't using because my sister she was a design major. She was a fashion design major, and we had came up with a brand named True Buzz that we was putting on clothes. But we ain't done that with it for 2 years, and I was like, you know what? Dang it, I'm gonna sacrifice the name that me and my sister created, and we gonna name our organization True Buzz.
Wow.
Because that's what we after. We after true buzz in these streets. That's what we after. That's what we try. That's what we chasing. We try to get these guys buzzing in people's ears. And so it's a perfect name for what we trying to accomplish. So I'm gonna sacrifice this clothing line and I'm gonna put the name, this is gonna be our name right here. And after those five guys were successful, we had 12 guys want to come mess with us the next year because they
Yeah.
was like, where that come from? Like, how y'all get these offers? Who y'all dealing with? Where y'all working at? And it just started. We started right at Carter High School
Right.
on the grass in the back
Yeah.
every Sunday, putting in
Yeah.
the work, and we'll get on the van when it's time to go to the camps. We'll get in the big van. We all drive. We pull up and take over a camp.
So I'm kind of interested, like, was it difficult? I know you mentioned you had like a good core group to start out with, but beyond that, was it kind of difficult to get into things? Like, what was the scene like at that time? Because, training is something that's kind of, I feel like, exploded over the last 10 years. So what was kind of the scene like at that time? Were there a lot of other people doing that? And then how did you kind of, get other people into the organization, get other athletes into the organization? Just kind of from word to mouth or from track record, or how did that work out?
Well, actually, it was nobody doing what we was doing at that time. Nobody. It was nobody. Matter of fact, we were in a organization called Texas Nine Man, which was really, really big in Dallas for adults who still had football dreams. We were playing 9-man football with flags, and it was huge. We would leave the 9-man field, and that was our sanctuary on Sundays. We would go out there and play our football games fellowship with the guys. But at one point, once we figured out we had something good, we was leaving after our game. We weren't sitting back talking to the fellas and drinking beers and you know, smoking weed and all that good stuff. We wasn't doing none of that. We leave in the field and we finna go coach these kids. And people used to be like, man, what are y'all doing? But why y'all keep leaving and going and doing what y'all doing with these kids, man? That ain't gonna amount to nothing. And we was like, man, we on to something. We know we on to something.
Right.
So nobody was doing it. We seen I did the research on the DI because we started in the DISD, right? The average student at the DISD was spending 2 hours talking to their counselor about their future.
Wow.
2 hours in 4 years. In 4 years. So how can a football player? This is just the general public of the school. I'm not even talking about athletes. On the average, in 4 years, they was talking 2 hours about their college and their future outside of their high school graduation. So we like, how is they gonna make it? How are they gonna make it? Because most athletes ain't, you know, they not applying themselves too much because they athletes. They gonna get the benefit of the doubt. They gonna get, you know, the silver spoon in their mouth, so to speak. So we was like, if we don't do something about it, who gonna do something about it? We see there's a hole in the bridge. How can we put the boards in place to have a bridge that gives them all the resources they need, and we ain't got to make no excuses on why they didn't make it.
Right.
And we just got good at it. And then what happened was, once that happened, we was taking over camps. After those 5 came, I think we had like 15 guys. And we did the same formula with those 15 guys. And we ended up in Houston at a mega camp in Houston. Our 15 guys that we brought was the best guys at that camp because we had trained them so much on what they supposed to be doing at camp and how to camp and how to take over reps and how to just go in there and be barbaric on everything that you do. This guy who was over Team Texas Elite, Rod, his name was Rod.
Right.
He had an Under Armour sponsor. He had a big Under Armour sponsor. We didn't even know anything about 707, but he had a major Under Armour sponsor. He seen how dominant our athletes was. He approached us and said, hey, I got this program in Houston, a 707 program. We was like, what is 707? He was like, can you get more kids like this? I was like, we got plenty of kids like this. This was just our top 15. Let's plenty. At this time, the 15 kids is bringing more kids because now people want to get that work, right?
Right.
So now we're seeing 25, 30 kids every time we work out, but we got the 15 core kids that we really focused on, right? Because we at this time we really ain't got no big organization. We just got a fraternity, right? So when Rod came to us with the 707 proposition and asking us could we get some more kids, we was like, well, yeah, we can, but what is the 707? Then it tapped into our intramural situation. We was like, oh, we can run the same thing we was doing intramural. We can run the same offense that we've been killing the country with and play 707.
Yeah.
So yeah, sign us up for that. We'll find the pieces that we need that we don't got. And we'll take you up on our because he said, I'm gonna pay for your jerseys, I'm gonna pay for you to go out of town, I'm gonna pay for y'all to do whatever y'all want to do, as long as y'all bring athletes like this around. And we was like, say less, sign us up. And that's how the 707 part came.
And that's when the business mind of Billups started to kick in after that. Because then you guys, where was the transition from? I know, I forget the organization, Rob's organization. We're not going to even have to go in there where you guys triggered and branded to be True Buzz. That's about the time I think I started to come in the world about 2018 that you guys were starting to really, y'all had caught that fire. And True Buzz is, which I love the name. I never knew the meaning behind the name, behind it. So thank you for sharing that. That's new to me. But it makes a lot of sense when I look back on it, and I love it. So it's fitting to who you guys are and what you guys do. Guys had the formula. Now you got to learn 7-7, but you really had the formula of camps and combines, which helps the kids to get those offers. But now you start to add this 7-on-7, and man, for what you guys have done, and I know I've been in the game since 2018, 2019. what y'all did, what you learned in the preparation and the dedication you had and doing all the things, what you learned in college and to transfer that is huge. What made you guys kind of leave and stand on your own from them, from Rod? I mean, which Rod and those guys, I think they're around, but they're not around as much anymore.
Well, what happened in that situation? You know, every situation it come for a reason or it come for a season, right? And
Absolutely.
we went to a major tournament. It was a pylon tournament because they said that's the biggest thing on the market. Because this is 2015, 2016.
Yep.
This is
He
before
was.
anybody was doing 707. We was the first.
Absolutely.
We had the first
Absolutely.
707 team in the DFW area. Nobody doing it, no at all. So we
Correct.
went to Pylon, the Mecca, what he called the Mecca. Now it wasn't the Mecca then. It was in Vegas.
Yeah.
And Texas Team Elite had 3 or 4 teams already coming from Houston. We was the only Dallas team that they brought. Well, we was the only team outside of Houston that they had. We went 0-3 in pool play. We went 0-3, Mumphrey. Everybody beat us, right? Because we ain't never done this before. This is our first time jumping off the porch. Everybody, we went 0-3 pool play first day. Remember he told us he was gonna pay for everything, right?
Right.
You know I'm gonna keep it. You know I'm gonna keep it a buck.
Yeah. Keep it a muscle. That's what it is. Yeah.
He told us he's gonna pay for everything, right? After we go 0-3, we sitting there, me and Brooks sitting there, we upset because we know we got the talent, but how we getting beat, you know?
Right.
He comes over there to sit at the picnic table with us. Is like, man, some things have changed, man. Y'all gonna have to pay for your own food.
Wow.
I said, so you got me out here with 20 of my kids, and now you don't even know if I got no money in my pocket. But now you telling me that I'm responsible for their food when you told me you was gonna pay for everything, right?
Right.
Say less. We got it. It's all good. You know what I mean? I'll pay it out of my pocket if I got to. They're not gonna go hungry, right? Right then, I knew I can't do business with him.
Yep.
You know what I mean? That's shady business. I don't do
Yep.
no shady. Be a man of your word, and I love Rod, but
no, great guy.
He know I ain't. If he was listening, he know I ain't lying.
Right.
So the second day, you know, it's what you do on the second day.
Right.
Yep.
By the time we look up, all his Houston teams eliminated. We done won 6 games in a row. We in the Elite 8. Oh, he is cheesing. He riding on. You know what? At this point, because we got his stuff on, right? We got his stuff on. You know, Barry had already tried to get us to do business with him beforehand, before we even knew Rod. Barry had already hit us because he seen us working out one day. He came to us, you know, with a proposition of blase, and we turned that down. So Barry was happy to see us in Vegas, and we doing our thing, right? So now we in the Elite 8. Since we went 0-3, you know, you playing back to back. We get to the Final Four, we run out of gas against Tate Martell, and Bishop Gorman them.
Right.
That's who beat us. They had home. Matter of fact, we walked off the field because we felt like they was cheating our kids, knowing that we've been playing back to back. We ain't got no rest. We've been playing back to back, and we was playing against the refs. By the time we didn't even play the last couple probably 10 minutes of the game, we just told our guys, let's pack it up. We did enough.
Right.
This is our first tournament. It was 220 teams. We finished 4th out of 220 teams in our first rodeo.
Right.
Wow.
And after
that tournament, we went to the drawing board and we was like, damn these jerseys, damn these cleats, damn all this shit that you giving us for the free. Why we doing the work? Why not represent our brand? We just go buy some t-shirts. So when Nationals came around, guess what we was? We had the big T on the t-shirts.
Yeah.
We came with straight big T with the t-shirts, and we bought our own t-shirts, and we went to Nationals, and we went to the National Championship, lost in the championship to Tuscan Turf.
Man, that's deep. I love it. I love to see how everything's born. But you know what? That's you're absolutely right, man. You know, things happen. You know, people are there for a season in your life, and sometimes people. What I've learned is people are not there for the journey. for the long haul. And you gotta understand that, life things change, and people got other motives that you don't see sometimes till it's right there in the heat of the battle, and you got to figure out, you got to make a decision. I got to keep riding because I know I'm all in now. I done promised these kids. We done did all this work. We got to ride this thing out. Okay, well, we're going to control it. We're going to control the narrative. And that's what I think you guys did at that moment. And that's what I see what you guys do today. So now you guys are with the new NIL and what's going on in recruiting and how the training going, how are you guys staying so out front of all these new, it's AAU 7, it's AAU sports now with 7-on-7. How being an old brand and one of the original G's, how you guys staying relevant in what you do, and keeping that fire coming into the organization. I've seen some people die out that couldn't keep up with it. You have too.
Yeah, man, it's about doing good business, my friends. You know how it go, man. If you're doing good business and you ain't doing people wrong and you telling people the truth, you only can lie for so long.
Absolutely.
You can only fake it for so long until you realize you really ain't got no juice. Right. We have done the groundwork in order to have the juice. We have built the relationships to have the juice. I can rewind it back to 2015. When RG3 and Baylor then was doing their thing. Yeah. We was there. Yeah. We was in the locker room. The things that people are doing now and going on these visits with a group of kids, we've been doing that since 2015. We've been videotaping it. Go look at our track record. It's videotapes from 2014, 2015 of us taking visits to Baylor, to Texas with group of kids in the locker room after the game. On the field before the game, we've been doing it. We've been building these relationships, but we've been solid in the way we do business, the way we treat people. You know what I mean? We don't lie to these coaches and sell them no dreams. If a kid don't got the talent that the coach is looking for, you gotta know the ins and outs of this person's program. You can't just go try to throw them anybody. What scheme are they running? What kind of kids are they looking for in the scheme that they running?
Right.
So if I'm not sending them that, then what am I doing? So and then when our kids get there, they ready. A lot of my kids ain't sitting on the bench. Some of them might hit the transport portal, but they not on the bench.
Right.
You see.
Well, it sounds like to me, Yeah, I think the one thing I hear in the whole message is we're gonna do right by the coaches, the college coaches, the high school coaches, the college coaches. And we're gonna put the kid in the right situation. And I think, when I see the guys in the 7-on-7 world that's trying to build organizations like a True Buzz, they don't understand. They're not willing to do the groundwork and building the relationships and really do the things. And I think that's why you see guys pop in and pop out and notwithstanding. Would you agree to that?
It's definitely a level of respect with these coaches, man. When you talking to these coaches, and I'm gonna keep it 100% solid. I really don't do a lot of talking to a whole bunch of coaches because that's just not my lane. I leave that up to Brooks and Moss because that's their department. Do I know what talent look like? I do my part and I evaluate the talent and I tell Moss or Brooks what I see and I grade them. We grade them just like they grade them. I'm using the same metrics they're using so I can talk their language.
Yeah.
I'm not just sitting on the kid and be like, hey, you like this kid? Now I'm giving them a breakdown and I'm tearing them just like they tearing them at their college. So they understand we know what we doing too. We got degrees too over here. We could be doing what you doing. Right. But all I'm doing is helping you do your job better because I see this kid a lot more than you see this kid.
Absolutely.
I got a relationship with his parents. I know his attitude. I know his character. I can give you a lot of insight to make your job a lot easier if you listen.
Right.
Do they always listen? Nah. But most of the time, do they come back and be like, oh, how can I get that kid that you was telling me? It's too late. And sometimes you gotta do them like that. You know what I mean? Because you should have listened to me when I told you the first time. But now, since we've been in the game so long, a lot of coaches respect our evaluation. They know if they come from us, they know that they checking the boxes because they know we're not gonna send them no bull crap.
Right.
And to that point, you've put so many kids in college and in the NFL for that matter as well through the program over the years. Just kind of looking back, reflecting on that. Obviously, you've achieved the mission of the program and of True Buzz many times. But just each time, what does that mean to you to be able to help one of these athletes out and help get them not only prepared for the next level but for the real world as well?
Man, it's really overwhelming, and it's a testament to our ministry, because this is really our ministry. You know what I mean? This is the way we give back. This is the way we do God's work at the end of the day, 'cause we both are God-fearing men.
Yeah.
We was raised in Christian families. We understand morals and values and hard work and dedication and loyalty and things of that nature. So it really makes you take a back seat and just be like in awe that we've been doing it for so long and we still good at what we do. We still haven't lost the passion
Yeah.
for helping kids. Now, I'm not gonna tell you it don't get hard, because this generation is different. I mean, this generation don't have a lot of loyalty. This generation, are entitled to, getting what they want when they want it. You know what I mean? And that's just not what we built on. But you always gotta change with the culture, right? I mean, 'cause I used to be the fiery, cuss out everybody coach, this, that, and the third. I had to look myself in the mirror, and I had to
Yeah.
listen to my peers, and I had to listen to my business partner, and say, hey man, you got to change your approach, because you can't reach these kids barking at them like you do. Maybe 2 or 3 years ago, you could
Right.
talk to those kids like that. And I just feel like our ability to change and always be looking for the next greatest thing, not just a next greatest player, but the next greatest business opportunity, or the next greatest resource, or where the game is going, or the getting with a training facility that's doing next level stuff that nobody don't know about. We're always thinking outside of the box. That's why I always tell people, y'all ain't gonna catch up.
Right.
Y'all might catch up in 7-on-7 wins, but
Yeah.
go check the record on who's sending people to college
Correct.
at a high rate. Y'all not even close. So you can't catch up, because we keep moving the needle further and further and further away from y'all. All y'all doing is winning 7-on-7 games. My kids going to college. And it ain't no, and
Right.
I'm not bragging. It's just hard. It's hard to do what we do.
Yeah.
It's really hard. Anybody can go win some 7-on-7 games, but can you build the relationships? Can you build a program to where kids can come in here and know that they have a real good chance of getting the resources and fulfilling their dreams of going to college and playing on the big stage?
Mm.
Yeah, no, Billups. I think you guys have earned the right to stand on your results, and that's the respect that I think you should get because you did that. And we were super excited. I know I was super excited to hang you guys the 15U trophy at the Crown. I saw a whole different True Buzz this year. I mean, we handed you guys a trophy in Louisiana, which was super excited to see Brooks win that trophy there, and then also you guys won up in Houston, and then to see the Crown, man, the 15U champions. That was a big thing for me because I got an opportunity to see one of the original Dallas program win the Crown in Dallas. So that was a big thing for me. But what I saw there was you had some coaches, man, and I don't know their names. You had some coaches there that was very dedicated, very committed, and to see them, see them win that game, and you guys being there, you being there every moment, you and Dee guiding them, being there as leaders. I saw you guys running a Fortune 500 company there, and it was just something different. It's not just a 7-on-7 organization. Speak to that a little bit for me. Not just the Crown, but the guys that you had that won, that coached that game, and how you guys work together.
Um, we had Coach Main Thing and Coach Corey. Um, Coach Corey came with us with Coach Twix. Coach Twix had
Yeah.
Coach Twix was with Grand Elite. I've coached against Coach Twix a whole bunch of times.
Yeah.
And he had his own little coaching staff, and I reached out. You're
Yeah.
only as good as your team,
Right.
and we knew we needed more coaches, and we needed quality coaches to
Mm-hmm.
to get done what we was trying to get done. So I reached out to Twix and told him I really want him to come over and help me coach the high school team. And he was like, "Well, I got some other coaches that's up under me that, that need a home as well." And I was like, "Well, hey, bring them over and we'll figure out where to put them and how to, give them what they are looking for within the organization." So I'm not gonna say it was easy to figure out the put the put the pieces together. Main thing had been with us, and then his son graduated, so he wasn't around anymore. Brooks reached out to Main Thing and was like, "Hey, Main Thing, I need you this year.
That's my guy. Yeah.
I need you this year. I need you to go help this coach that we really don't know, but we respect Twix enough to understand that Twix got a great football mind because his
Yeah.
son played with us too."
Yeah.
So we put them two together, and we felt like we had a good match of, of an offensive mind and a defensive mind, and two, level-headed guys that can really get the most out of some kids.
Yeah.
And the crazy thing about it is that we had so many kids come out and try out for the 15U. We only supposed to have one 15U.
Mm.
BJ Mathis and I can't even think of the other coach. I'm having a brain for it. But they had the high profile, the high big name
Mm.
15U.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
had the prospects that already got offers and this, that, and the
Wow.
third. Main thing them had the kids that ain't really noticed.
Mm.
Wow. They
They
had
ain't,
the
really,
one that ain't been exposed. All right.
they
All
ain't
right.
got the ones that's just hungry.
Yeah.
The other 15U we had the kids that had 2 and 3 D1 offers already.
Mm.
Wow.
Being honest with you, but since
Yeah.
since the first tournament of the year, that underdog 15U team came and showed up and showed out from day one. They was always in the Final Four or in the championship game for probably 95% of the tournaments they went to.
Wow.
Mm.
And that was just a testament to them being dedicated to what we was doing. They was listening to their coaches. They was taking the coaching. They was coming to practice. And when they was competing hard because they had something to prove when it was time to to play. So I give all the credit to those coaches for what I'm saying,
Yeah.
being good leaders and being good teachers to those guys, and not looking down upon those guys, and really believing that those guys had what it take to be great, because they really was great this year. They probably was the best team we had all year out of the whole organization. They was the
Yeah.
most consistent team all year.
Well, I think that's a testament to you guys' leadership in the coaching, and I tell people all the time, and I don't know how people perceive this. I say all you super teams, they got all your kids with all the offers and all the things, you can't come win the crown. And the reason I say that, exactly what you just proved my point, is because all those kids are individuals, and they usually have a coach that think, hey, I just got all this talent. I don't coach them up. I treat them different. I treat them high profile. And you have to coach in this game today, especially on our circuit. It ain't just the big jump ball. You got to really have a system. And what I saw with the 15U, really all our champions, you guys had systems. Y'all taught the kids, you develop them, you really coach them. We was talking with Coach Charles Thompson that won 18U, and one thing he said his son Casey did is they did walkthrough. They did exactly what you do at the high school and college level. He had film. He told his dad, "Hey, look, I'm not gonna coach you. You don't go get me a drone so I can do film work." And I know Sean, and I know Maintain, and I know those guys, and I know they're real disciplinary, they're real coaches. They're not just some dude that's off the corner, just as everybody wants to see the guys that's coaching 7-on-7. They think everybody's street agents, but they're not. They're real coaches. They're real guys that really do this and have done this for decades. And so that's exciting to hear you say that hey, yeah, we had the super team, but super team couldn't come together, whether that's coaching or just the kids didn't come together.
Man,
And these
the super team couldn't get out the second, third round, never, all year. The super team. Matter of fact, it in the tournament, I think it was the tournament in New Orleans. Was it in Louisiana? They played each other.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No, they played
Yeah.
at our tournament. They played at our tournament.
Okay.
At our tournament we had, they ended up playing each other to see who go to the championship. Guess who won?
Yeah, 15U that didn't have all the super kids on. Got it.
That's who won.
Yeah.
It was a close game. I'm not saying it was a bad game. It was a very,
Yeah.
very close game. But the team that really played together, that wasn't individuals and wasn't me, and they
Right.
just played together. When the game get close, you gotta trust the man beside you.
Correct.
You gotta trust the man that he gonna do his job. You gotta trust that the coach is gonna call the right play. You don't know everything because these
Right.
players, these things think they can call their own plays. They
Right.
can play their own technique, and they think it's gonna work until it don't.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean,
But
I give big ups to those coaches, man. They really maximize. Not saying they had no talent because they had some talent.
yeah,
It was
no,
just
absolutely.
it was just unnoticed talent.
Right.
But they got the most out of those kids, and they made them believe that they could beat anybody in the country.
Right. Right. And I know we're gonna see some of those kids that's gonna have offers because I know you guys been doing your bus tour and things of that nature, man. I know you guys were just on the last bus tour. I saw Brooks announcing several offers at every stop. So that's really huge in what you guys do. But I want to kind of pull back the thing, and then as we start to wind down a little bit is, one of the myths I want to really be honest about because we're hearing your testimony. And I know you're speaking as one of the leaders with Brooks and Moss and Didi. You guys got a great family there, and y'all are family to us as well. So, but one of the things is tell us a little bit about what you do for your career, because I want people to understand you guys are not doing this chasing money. You're doing this because you're trying to help and give back. But at the same time, you do invest time. And has to be money has to be in order to help. You have to raise money. You have to earn income to help. And it's a lot of sacrifice, because one of the things a lot of people want to call us in our sport, a lot of the high school coaches and different coaches, I'm just going to put it out there, Billups, is they want to look at us as street agents. But what we're doing is we're helping their job be better. We're giving them better athletes. And I think that's one of the things when you really look at what we do, we're no different than AAU volleyball, AAU basketball. These high school coaches get a better athlete if they work with us and understand that we're doing the extra work. Whether they're working on Sunday with you guys or coming to one of our events, they getting to compete against some of the best in the nation. So kind of give me your thought process on that along with your resume.
Well, again, I attended North Texas. I have an associate's degree in business, and I didn't get to finish my degree as far as my bachelor's, but my business partner Brooks got 2 degrees. He got a master's. Moss, he got a degree. He got a bachelor's degree. Everybody on my staff got some type of paperwork.
Right.
As far as degree, I think I'm probably the least educated, but I went to school probably the most time. as far as paperwork goes, because the only thing I was able to achieve was associates. But it is what it is. I went into the workforce, and I knew, I didn't really need, a bachelor's to do what I wanted to do. I was in the car business for 12, 15 years. Um, I was just always good at sales, and I made a lot of money doing it. I worked my way up from being a regular sales guy to traveling all over the country and helping car lots make their numbers better. I was training they employees on how to, do the process of selling a car. What I mean, they were paying me $5,000-6,000 just to show up, plus whatever I make. So I was making great money doing what I love to do, talk to people and help people go through the
Right.
car buying process. So I did that for 12 to 15 years. And then I just got into the business, and I did that. And I'm gonna tell you why I did that. I was doing that because it gave me enough free time and enough money for me to be able to give time to True Buzz.
Right.
I could have went and worked at a dealership and
Right.
spent 12, 13 hours a day, have to work
Right.
on Saturdays. I found a way to make the money to take care of my family
Right.
by going out of town, helping struggling car dealerships 7 days out of the month
Hmm.
to make a great living for myself in order for me to give the time I need to give to the baby that I was trying to nourish, which was True Bud.
Right.
And it gave me enough money to, if anything needed to be paid for that my people couldn't pay for. Because I'll tell you I'll say from the first 4 or 5 years, we was operating in the red. I was spending money out of my own pocket.
Right.
I paid out of my own pocket to build a website. I paid out of my own pocket to buy uniforms. I paid out of my own pocket to do some of these trips, buy food, things that we were paying at our own, because a lot of these kids wasn't paying. We was dealing with DISD kids. They don't ain't had no money. We was picking up kids. We was doing a wanted Wednesdays. We was picking up kids at 5 o'clock in the morning, feeding them breakfast, working them out, dropping them off at home before they got to go back to school out of our own pocket. So, yes, as we got bigger and bigger and bigger, and we giving more resources, and we doing more for these kids. Yeah, at some point you got to, put a value on your time and your efforts, because what we doing. I tell my students or my parents this. Okay, you can invest $1,200 a year. All I need is 2 years with your kid. I'm gonna tell you in the first 3 months if you need to spend this $1,200 for the first year on your kid to be in my program. I'm gonna tell you if it's worth it or not. Right? So, but if I tell you it's worth it and I see something in your kid, I need 2 years with him. That's $2,400.
Right.
In 2 years. I'm gonna take him all over the country. He gonna compete against the best of the best. He gonna go to elite camps. He gonna have all the resources that he need, and he gonna have the ability to get $150,000 to $170,000 scholarship. These are the facts, right? So let me ask you this, parent. If I told you, if you give me $2,400 right now, and I guarantee you got a 98% chance of getting $175,000 in 2 years, would you give me the $2,400?
Absolutely.
You would. So go look at my track record. Yeah. If you stay in my program for 2 years, and I told you got the talent, and I took your $2,400 for those 2 years, you got a 98% chance to not have to pay for school, and those scholarships are worth $150,000 to $180,000. It's just math. Yeah. And it's just the formula. And I'm showing you the formula work. I got testimony after testimony. You ain't even got to take my word for it. Call one of the other parents that did it. Call one of the other parents that didn't pay me nothing. Call one of the parents that I picked their kid up. That I picked their kid up every time. I never even met them. Call one of them. I ain't never seen them before. But their kid is going to college for free. I ain't even got to thank you sometimes. But some people come back and tell me, I didn't pay you enough. You're undervaluing your program because I didn't pay you enough money for all the things that you did for my kid, all the things my kid got to see, all the places my kid got to go, all the universities he got to see. Some of these kids think they want to go to Florida until they get to Florida.
Right.
We taking our kids there. Go check our timeline.
Right.
You want to go to Alabama? We've been there 10 times. Yeah. You want to go to Florida State? We've been there 4 times. Yeah. So our kids are going to see where they think they want to go to school and they get to meet the people, see the people, breathe the air, look at the atmosphere, look at the town. Those are experiences these kids ain't going to get nowhere else. So is it worth some money? Yes, it is. Can you get on a plane right now and go anywhere without spending no money?
Sir.
You can't. I asked the parent too. I say, look here. And I was thanking God for Battle. Battle gave us a national sponsor, right?
Right.
I was charging $1,200 a year. This is a whole calendar year. So we're gonna do everything for you. You're gonna play a whole 707 season. You're gonna go to about 3-4 places out of town. You're gonna go on college visits every time you go out on one of those places. We fly where we go. We stand in nice hotels. We ain't standing in no Motel 6, bro. We don't stand in no Motel 6s.
Right.
We stand at Hilton's, Hamptons, Marriott's. We stand at places like that, right?
Yeah.
I'm giving you right off the bat $600-700 worth of gear.
Yep.
For free. So I can take that out your $1,200. I could have made you pay for that because he gave it to me. He didn't give it to you. He gave it to me.
Right.
Even your $1,200 won't even cover your flights that we gonna go.
Yep.
Not unless your food, how much a tournament costs, Mumphrey? How much
Hey,
it costs to get in the tournament?
$650 to $800, depending on where you're going.
I got 4 teams doing that on the weekend. Do the math.
Absolutely.
So how am I getting over on y'all when I'm charging the bare minimum? Matter of fact, I already know I'm in the red for the money that I'm charging, but I try to make it affordable for anybody who want to do it, right?
Right.
I'm in the red before I start. The only way we get in the green is by throwing our tournament. That's why we put so much energy in our tournament, because that's the only way we're gonna be able to take care of some of these kids who can't pay, first and foremost.
Right.
Also keep the operation going so that we able to do everything we need to do to have the result we want to have at the end of the year.
Right. Love it. But that's I appreciate you sharing that, and because this, where we have to change the mindset in our communities, because we're a football community, is nothing is for free. I mean, you play baseball, I played baseball way before travel baseball and volleyball came up, and man, people spending tens and $10,000 a year in some of those sports. And the sport that people watch and spend the most money is football.
Mm-hmm.
And let's just be honest with it. And now with the NIL, the investment of $2,400, even if it's $5,000, if your kid is really that kid, he gonna make that back easily, because these schools, as soon as they walk on campus, they're gonna get an extra $50,000-$70,000 a year.
Yeah.
We didn't have that opportunity. So what I wanted to make sure that we dispel the myth that everybody's doing out here taking from someone. We're out here helping. We're guys that are, because of what went through our life and, the sacrifice and the things that didn't happen in our sports life, that want to give back to kids, man. That's what I heard in your whole message. I know that about you.
Can I add one thing to that, Mumphrey?
Yes, sir.
707, to be honest with you, to be totally transparent, I probably can speak for Brooks as well. It ended a bunch of our relationships with our kids' mother, with women that were good to us, because we have invested that much time and we believe in it so much in helping others. We have sacrificed a lot of good people in our life, even our own kids, in order for the greater good, because we see something great coming out of it. You know what I mean? We see a bigger picture. We seen that 707 was going to be what it is today in 2015.
Right.
Now nobody want to drink that Kool-Aid then. Now everybody got a Kool-Aid pack. I got the variety pack now.
Absolutely.
They really do. So I say that to say this. When you think that somebody is getting over, I probably haven't made no more than, in 10 years, $60,000 off of True Buzz that I could put in my pocket. And I'm just being totally transparent. Maybe $60,000 monthly in 10 years that I done made that I could put in my pocket. That's $6,000 a year.
Right.
Yeah.
And if I go do the expenses, it's probably gonna wipe all that out too.
Yeah.
What I done spent over the 10 years. But I don't keep up with it because I don't do it for the money. I do it because I love it. I do it because I like helping people. I do it because that's what God has called us to do. And even though when I want to quit, you don't think we didn't want to quit? Brooks wanted to quit so many times. I'm like, bro, you can't quit. Yeah. We can't quit.
Nope.
This is not a quittable situation. Can we step back and get somebody and teach somebody to do what we do? Yeah, we can do that. But we can't quit.
Yep. Too many lives at stake. No.
I love it, man. It's been an honor to get to see you guys grow. I haven't been with you guys from the start, but over the last 4 or 5 years, like True Buzz is a household name. I always enjoy watching you guys compete and getting to hear your backstory, yours specifically, as well as the programs as well. It's just cool to hear and see all the things that go into the work behind it. Mumphrey, I don't know if you want to close this out or you have anything else, but I just wanted to add that in there. It's an honor and getting to know you and talk with you here on the Dedicated Podcast.
Oh man, you was well, man. Thank you for having me, man. I always love, shine a light on the journey. So this is something I'm passionate about because a lot of people, like you said, Murphy, a lot of people don't understand. A lot of people think it's just, you wake up, it's microwavable. It's not microwavable. You got to really get in the kitchen and cook this.
Yep.
That's the only way it's gonna work and be sustainable.
Yep.
Like I tell you, you got teams out here that's winning in 7-on-7.
Yep.
That's easy. I done had
Yep.
plenty of teams that have won in 7-on-7.
Yep.
Even my top teams, Muffy, have been lackluster for the past 3 years.
Yep.
They have. I tell anybody that. But I
Yep.
know I can still compete with anybody. I can
Yep.
win a 7-on-7 game anytime.
Yep.
But I guarantee you put my roster and where they went to school up to anybody roster in the country, anybody's, you name them. I guarantee you, I'm sending more kids to school than any of them. Even the kids that you don't even know, but they going to school for free.
Mm.
And at the end of the day, that's what it's all about. At the end of the day, it's about, hey, how do we help expose these kids to the next level in college and get them there? And I look at us, Billups, sorry. I look at us, I look at True Buzz, I look at organizations that are building like you guys. I'm a partner. I'm just an extension of what you guys really do. Want to make sure the environment is right, that you guys can bring your brand into DR7 and feel comfortable that we're representing you guys and to see what you guys do for these kids, man. We just want to be a part of that in any way we can because we know we can't do it alone. And just like you guys know, y'all can't do it alone. So it takes a community to work together. And that's what I've felt since I met you guys back in 2018, 2019. Hey, I was part of a community. Anytime I needed something, I hit you or Brooks up or Dee. It was what you need, Mumphrey. And that's what makes me special to me. It's that community because we all have the same goal. It's our ministry. God calls you to do something. You got to do it. I'm 52. I'll be 53 at the end of the month. Did I think in my life after graduating from SMU that I was going to be out here running tournaments and driving a 44-foot trailer around the country? No, but I love it. My wife, my family, we're passionate about it. Meeting great people like you guys and Ben and that's what it's about. And people got to understand the community and understand what we're really doing. Yes, we're playing a game and we're having fun, but it's so much other stuff that it takes to do that and help those kids be better and be great. As men, they get to see real men lead, and that's what you guys are doing as well.
And I mean, I wanted to also speak on that. I know we ran out of time, but I applaud you for the things that you are doing because me and you had a talk when the stuff hit the fan a
Yeah.
couple years back. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I had hour-long talks with you about
Yeah.
that situation. You know what I mean? And the way you have rebounded and you have built something that's sustainable and respected, is highly respected in the what I want to try to say in the arena that we in.
Right.
Bro, I can't do nothing but salute you. And I know it was a lot of hard work. I know it was a lot of long days, and I know you probably wanted to give up. But you know what I mean. To be honest with you, I know you probably wanted to give up because you had built something there that was good.
Yeah.
But when God got a plan for you, man, and He really know that you're passionate about what you're doing. I knew that when I did business with you because we almost did do business together. Remember
Yeah.
that?
Yeah. Yeah.
I hit you up and I was like, we gonna make this happen. No matter
Yeah.
no matter what's going on, we gonna make this happen.
Yeah.
And I just applaud you for keep on pushing and keep on trying to be better and better and better in this platform, man, because that's what it's really all about. You know what I mean? How can you help? How can you, bridge the gap on what's missing in the
Right.
game? You know what I mean? Like that's what we here to do. And I know you as a person, and I know your heart as far as this goes. And I know that you're doing these things for the right reasons. And that's why we show so much love because
Yeah.
you got the same passion for it that we got. And you deserve to make money in it. You know what I mean? You deserve to make money at something you love. That's what we all strive to do. And
Right.
as we live this life, we want to make money on something we love. And especially if I'm helping
Right.
other people and I can make money at it, why
Yeah.
not?
Why not? Yep. Yep. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So
I love
yeah,
it, man.
big ups to you though, man, for that.
Thank you. Great team.
True Buzz, our 2024 15U DR7 The Crown national champions. It's been great getting to know Coach Billups a little bit more. I know we're going to be talking with Coach Brooks here soon, so definitely stay tuned to that here on the Dedicated Podcast. But for Mump and Coach Billups, I'm Ben Spicer. Thank you guys for joining us, and we'll see you on the next episode.